Hey guys, it's Lucy and Kelly here, and today we want to talk about mental health. So we know Mental Health Awareness Week was the week before last, but we were unable to do a video then. But saying that, we feel like mental health awareness and mental health in general is always important to talk about. So here we are.
Here we are today. One of the things with mental health is I feel like a lot of people often feel alone, and you can be sat at home feeling like nobody in the world is going through what you're going through, even though people are talking about it. When you're having those bouts of anxiety or struggling with everything like the brain noise that's going on in your head, I think often you do feel like nobody gets it and like you're the only person who is struggling with it. So I think that is what kind of inspired us today to want to be able to open up about some of the things that we deal with and some of our struggles, and hope that maybe we can connect to you out there, we can start discussions, we can talk about it and
Not make you feel so alone.
Yeah, so you not feel so alone, and to show that it's a very, very common, I guess, and kind of like, I don't like the word normal, but a normal thing that a lot of people go through. And one of our biggest things that me and Kelly struggle with is overthinking. Overthinking, our brains, we were talking about this the other day, and it is something that we share, is they don't stop. Like our brains are constantly on the go, and we always have an inner monologue going on. And for the longest time, even now, we have days even now where I live on my own and I talk constantly. Like I am always talking to the walls, whether it's or pictures or to myself, and I'm always like having that chat with myself. And some days that's great. Some days you're really motivated, you're doing things, it just feels like somebody else is in the house. And some days we were saying that inner monologue can be so draining, and it can be absolutely exhausting to feel like, my goodness, like just stop, because sometimes it can be very negative, or it's overthinking everything and worrying, and it just builds up this like thing of anxiety in the pit of your stomach, and it's so difficult. And we say it to each other sometimes, is, are we the only people? Like, you feel like you're in a movie, you feel like you're in a book, you feel like somebody's narrating your life, and you're going, what is going on here?
I've asked my husband a few times. I think he said no. Like I say, you know, when you're on your own, like at home, do you talk to yourself? And maybe occasionally you might, but it's not something. So it is. We think it's kind of like, oh, everybody must do it. But then when you actually really get it, it's not like it is literally like a constant chatter and sometimes, like we said, it can be positive sometimes, but other times it's just, especially if you're having those kind of down days where you're talking like future everything, and it's just like boom, you know, like
thinking about something that happened 10 years ago, an argument that happened 10 years ago,
and it's not
thinking about something that's coming up, and you're thinking about all again sometimes, a positive thought, and then sometimes it's just like this list of things that is like, what happens if this happens, what happens if this happens, and like I just said before, it can be absolutely exhausting.
So the things that we kind of do to counteract that, a particular one would be, which one were you saying that's good for you? Oh, dancing. You said dancing.
Well, this was the thing we were chatting about, that sometimes I'll be like, right, Lucy, just stop thinking and just put music on. But then I'll have a conversation with myself and be like, I don't need to put the music on right now. I'm talking, like I need to figure out what is going on in my head. So I'm talking about it. I don't need the music. And I have to have this little battle with myself, and then I go, put the music on. So I'll put Harry Styles on, I'll put Julie and the Phantoms on, and then I'll realise that like half an hour later, 45 minutes later, all I have done is sing, and I have like relaxed, and I have danced, and I've thought about the music, and it's uplifted me, and it just makes me feel connected to the world. It makes me feel connected to the songs and the lyrics, and I find myself feeling so much better, and I go, oh my gosh, like I needed that break, like I needed that rest. So music definitely helps.
And then for me, reading, like I was just saying to Lucy this morning, like reading is a huge thing, because if somebody had like a Big Brother camera in my house, and like I'd like literally I'll have a book open in front of me and I'll be just about to read it, but there'll still be like something I'm thinking about, so I'll be staring at the wall talking, and then it's like a switch, like the minute I open the book and just go, I'm going to read, there's silence, and all of a sudden your brain isn't focusing on the stuff in your head.
Brain noise.
It's just literally all of a sudden you're reading, and then like calmness and quiet descends. So to us, we find that those kind of things, like anything, if you have a favourite TV show, when you've got so much going on, just help yourself by switching off to something else that you have to concentrate on instead of what's going on in here. And sometimes an hour, half an hour, you just need that to get back on track, kind of with going forward and being proactive about stuff,
like having a break. So please, that's a big thing that definitely please comment below or kind of share like what helps you. Is it a good thing, you know, that inner monologue sometimes? Can it be a bad thing? Do you feel like us sometimes where you just like, please, like, you just need a break from it? And like, what do you do as well that can maybe not just a book that can keep you longer, kind of just going in the present and being in the present? Like, I guess meditating and things help sometimes, but because of that inner monologue and brain noise, we struggle meditating because you just think, you're like, I'm meditating right now. Wait, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Stop talking. I'm supposed to be meditating. And it's kind of like that. So yeah, that's a huge one.
One of the other things that we like to think as we're getting older, like we're 33 now, and as we're getting older, we're really trying to combat the kind of going out of the house and being good around people. And we'd like to be, you know, happy, chatty, positive people. We do love meeting new people. Equally, we also get very, very anxious socially and leaving the house and going places. And those things, well, I'll get to that one. So things like, you know, little things, or even like ringing people on the phone. So it's like anything to do with kind of people that you're not really sure, like ringing people or answering the phone for things. And then going out in public, where now obviously as shops are starting to open and there's more people, it can be very overwhelming. And even I was saying to Lucy about the cinema, we're the kind of people that we struggled a lot in our teen years being around people like tenfold. But like even now, that one thing like we were saying about going into the cinema, you know, when you walk into the cinema and there's like that, so obviously because all the stairs are going up, you have the screen here, so you can't see how many people are in the cinema. So you feel like you're walking this entrance and then you turn. Does anybody else feel so anxious about that moment? Like I'll always shove people in front of me, like who are with me, before you turn, because it's terrifying. Like it can be very, very overwhelming for social being anxiety.
That comes along with the fact that I think Kelly was like saying the fact that we struggle socially. There's a lot of little things that we struggle socially, and we need like a pep talk to leave the house. And we don't often talk about that stuff, or I guess maybe through our social media, we always try and be very positive. But this is stuff that we do sort of sometimes find hard to talk about. And it's not something we feel like we let people know that, hey, I was scared walking into a room, like walking into I was making Kelly laugh because I'm the kind of person that if I know I'm going somewhere and I'm walking into something and they don't have the doors that like open and it's a push or pull door, oh my goodness, like I will like sweat for 5 minutes thinking, is that a pull door or is it a push door? But hang on, when I walk up to the door, am I going to need to pull it or am I going to need to push it? And the amount of times, because I have overthought it, like if I came in and pulled it, then that means as I'm going out, I have to push it. And because I'm overthinking it and because I'm anxious, I build it up to the point where when I then walk out of the building, I end up doing the wrong thing because I've let myself get so worked up about whether the door is a push or pull door. And kind of related to that of going into restaurants and going into places and cinemas, is we really struggle to do things on our own. And we often get asked the question as far as what it's like being a twin. And I know not all twins will have this problem, but obviously we say we don't know what it's like to be an individual, like an individual, like not a twin. And for us, I guess it leads into some of our doubts and insecurities about being mature 33-year-olds, because if I have to do anything without somebody, especially Kelly with me, again, it's a heck of a lot of pep talking to get me out the door. And it's like, right, I can do this on my own. I've not got somebody next to me, but I can do this. So that's something that if you can reach out and say that you feel like that sometimes and you get very nervous going places on your own, I'd love to know, because it is one of those things that mentally I berate myself so much because I think it's so silly that I hear people go, oh, I'm just nipping into Manchester. Like Kelly's husband, Chris, will just be like, I'm just going to walk to Manchester. And you're like, I'm just going to do this. And I'm like, on your own? Do you need somebody to go with you? And like, and so that's something that definitely creates a lot of insecurities. But
then saying that, because we are lucky that we live around the corner from each other and it helps us having that person. We have our family that's very supportive and our like sister and each other that you do say, no, come on, can you come with me now? So it's always important as well, if that is the kind of thing that you struggle with too, don't be afraid to ask somebody. Maybe have a friend who is your shopping buddy, or somebody who can come round and like go somewhere with you. Like, don't always think you have to do it. Like if you genuinely do live on your own, and you get anxiety about going shopping, like, which is totally okay, don't be afraid to maybe ring someone up and say, no, come on, would you come with me? Can we have like a shopping day and make it kind of like a nicer thing that you can deal with it and slowly? Because we do that with each other all the time. It helps. And if one of us is like, no, I really can't, will you just come here? Even if it's the post office, Lucy, I need to get a parcel. will you just come with me
I
and
know,
like do this?
we do.
Because it's, you know, it's a big thing. So you've got to find those little things that help you and accept them, because that is how you cope and go forth kind of thing.
So they're just some of the things that I think mentally
driving. Sorry, very quickly, because I'm not going out, but driving. Don't be afraid if you're worried about driving, because we do. And the silly thing is, we used to drive on the highways in America without a problem, and they're scarier than over here. We don't like motorways over here, and if we're driving somewhere that we don't know, it's a pep talk before you get in the car. And the best thing that we can say with that we're getting better at, the older we get slightly, is picture yourself in the car, or actually no, don't picture yourself, get in the car, and then go.
The picture of yourself comes the night before,
when you're sweating and you're thinking, no, what happens if I take a wrong turn here, here and here? And it's like, I did that this morning when I'm coming back from the airport, and I saw an exit and waved at it and thought, oh, that's the exit, I should have gone. And then we kept going and I didn't know where to turn off. And it's like, but breathe, and then just wait till you're in the car, and you will find your destination when you calm down.
That's the thing.
Okay.
I guess that's the thing. The last tip that I had was, a lot of these things I feel like, but again, I'd love for other people to kind of discuss. That I feel like a lot of it does come around based on fear of the unknown, or fear of like what's going to happen. And I always remember this, and I always say to Kelly that so many times I've seen interviews and like read, and I would love Chris Evans, and I think when he talks about brain noise, and when he talks about the fact that he turned down the role of Captain America 10 times, and then he said it was something I was so fearful of, and then I thought, well, because I'm so scared of it, I have to do it. It doesn't always work. There are times when it's like the bad side of, not say bad side of having a twin, but I'll go, no, Kelly, you do it, and like I really can't do it, and I just have to go, no, Kelly, please, you do it. I don't want to do this. But there are times when it's like having those group things and doing things and pushing yourself to say, okay, I'm really, really scared right now, but just do it. And the one thing we will say, and I guess we've not really shared it before, but our whole entire wrestling careers, for like the 9 years, 10 years we were wrestling, the stomach aches and the cramps and the anxiety just before we were going to go through that curtain, where you felt like you'd forgotten everything had gone out of your head, you're going to be terrible, all this kind of stuff. And then the minute your music hit, you just had to walk through the curtain. So that did give us a lot of practice in, even though I'm scared right now, I have to do it. And so there are times when you have to just be really positive, and you have to kind of get that monologue on a good track. I'm going skateboarding to my first ever skateboarding group session, like not this week, the week after, during the holidays, and I'm like, right, I'm not going to overthink it. All I'm going to think about is the fact that I'm going to join a group and get to skateboard. So sometimes just focusing on that one thing and forgetting that there's going to be a bunch of other people in this group. I'm scared of like doing anything wrong, and just going, no, focus the fact that when I get on my skateboard, that's what makes me happy. So that's a big thing as well. Just sometimes I think if it's coming out of fear, you have to find that balance between going, just go for it, and it's going to be an experience, and you can learn from it and try and think of those positives. But again, it all kind of weaves into balance. But again, it's like finding those things that work for you.
And again, if you really can't and you really struggle, please don't be afraid to seek friends, family, and people,
take
professionals that can help you, because you shouldn't feel like you're at home alone, and like the world isn't your oyster for you to do things too. You just have to do them in your own time. You just have to do them your own way.
And the world can adapt. The world, please know, the world can adapt to you sometimes. Like, it really can, and it should adapt to you. And you have to find your people, and you have to find those people that you can that can work with you and support you. And so always speak up, always share what you're going through, and there will be bumps in the road. We've definitely had the moments where it's like people don't get it, and people go, come on, you can do it, and I'm like, no, I'm telling you, I really can't. And you sort of have that paralyzed with fear, and when you find those people, it's all worth it. And so you've just got to keep going, and remember that you're worth it. Everything you feel that you might think is like a silly thing, a big thing, it is valid. You are feeling it, and therefore it is valid. So please understand that, and please know that. So please speak up, and please talk about it.
And stay strong, because it will get better.
It will.
And we love you, and we hope you have a fantastic day today. Keep talking, and be as positive you can, and be happy.
Bye, guys. Bye.